I don't know what to do with my hands.
My arm's about to fall off. It hurts.
Does it hurt?
It's wrapped so tightly. If my hand falls off, you know what happened.
I understand.
You know what happened. All right. Okay.
Welcome to the Hunter's Advantage podcast.
Just waiting for a couple people to jump on here.
Are we live right now?
We are live. We are live.
Well, Bobby, you see.
Let's add that. Okay. We got 2 people on Insta so far.
Hello, all.
What's up, everybody?
Man, I should have signed in where I can see the questions as well.
Pull it up on your phone.
That sucks. No, my phone's in the other room charging.
Yeah, I forgot. You guys only got one charger. Okay, let's play the intro and then we'll get into it. All right.
Welcome to the Hunter's Advantage podcast, where a group of budget-minded hunters scour the woods for whitetail bucks and whatever other big game is in season. Tune in each week to hear the hilarious public and private land hunting stories and mistake-filled lessons learned. We believe that every hunt brings us closer to God and that we exist to share the good news. And now, your hosts, Christian Babcock and Jake Gaylord.
Saw, dude.
Oh, that's good. I saw you doing that a little
did
frame
you?
down there? Yeah.
Dadgummit. I forget every
What's
move
up,
I make.
everybody? Welcome back to the Hunter's Advantage podcast. I've got Jay Lord over there joining me. No,
Yes.
tinfoil hat man. So this is one of our live podcasts where we do live Q&A, and this is one of the formats of the show. We also do regular podcasts with guests, and then probably our personal favorite is our hunt talks that we get to do at deer camp or when we're all together.
Those are seasonal, though.
Those are very, very seasonal. But basically on this one, what we do is we do live Q&A, and we just field questions and give you very subpar answers. So here we are. What's going on, Jake?
First off, what do I do with my hands?
They're watching. They're watching.
Oh, shoot. Oh, enjoying the 100-degree triple-digit heat. I got my dog right here. He's only a 15-year-old Jack Russell, so you can tell he's blind and basically deaf.
Probably hear him.
But yeah, I love him. So what have you been up to?
Dude, just summer chore activities. I remember, or not remember, this weekend I was putting out corn and a bunch of other stuff, corn cameras, messing with tree stands, all that sort of stuff. And I just thought about making one of those inaugural Instagram posts where it's like, you got to put the work in right now to benefit this season. And I decided
few hunt, but hardly any succeed.
Yeah, few hunt.
Yeah,
Exactly.
something like that.
Yeah. We already got some stuff rolling in here. Let's greet a few of our
But
guests.
before that, hold on. I heard you got stung by a wasp. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Right on your bunghole or what? Oh, nice.
Good one, huh?
Nice.
I got wrecked, dude. It was in my feeder.
Mm.
I killed probably 10 of his friends, but
That's
he got me.
That's what you get for hunting over corn, man.
I wasn't even hunting over it. I was just trying to get it up on the lease, and they wanted it. Okay, let's greet some of these people. So, oh wow, Jake, I'll let you take that last name.
Dylan. Give me a second. Oklahoma's 48th in education, so it's going to take me at least 2 minutes to read that. Dylan Dalrymple. How did I do?
I think that's pretty good.
Dylan Dalrymple. Yep.
Said sup, homies.
What's up,
dude?
man? What's up, dude?
We got another one from Nicky Boy 16. Said, "What's up, guys? What's going on?" These are a few folks from YouTube. We got some folks from Instagram as well. Eric, the host of Southeastern Bowhunter podcast, said, "What's up, boys? Hope y'all been doing good and some awesome episodes lately." Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
Thank you, brother.
I've been watching some of your episodes myself, so you can no longer do this.
I can, and I will. His
kidding.
past does not define him.
He's a stud. So Jesse Davis Midwest said, "Where are you guys at in OK?" Jake, where are you at?
Right in the butthole area. Crackhead capital of the nation. So about northeast Oklahoma. So in Veneta, to be specific.
Well, he's at the spot with the world's largest McDonald's. And
yeah. So you'll know Veneta by when you go past the turnpike. You go through an overhead McDonald's. Inside, you'll be able to see a silhouette. Will Rogers waving to the people. That is what we're best known for. And the halfway houses.
Got plenty of those. You got plenty of relatives at this.
They're now on what do you call that? Like food stamps, EBT, and all that stuff.
EBT, yep.
Yep.
Dylan said spot on. Heck yeah. Jake, you nailed the name. You nailed it. Oh man. Yeah, dude, summer is quickly fading out of our lives. It's moving rapidly. And I know you don't have many deer chores to do because you're a public land warrior, but all of us common folk.
I wish I had deer chores to do. I could get mine done in like 30 minutes in the afternoon or in the morning. Like all I got to do is weed eat a stand or just kind of weed eat around where either the feeder's going to be or, one of the stands. And then that's it. There ain't much I can do.
That's not necessarily a bad thing either. I mean, just more public land time. I would say that you probably have about the same amount of work for your private as Carroll does to get ready for his private, which is leverage the skills of his friends to make sure everything's set up because he has to go to a birthday party this weekend.
Well, I will buy him out on his lease. I will say that publicly if he wants to.
There we go.
I'll be the greatest lease mate of all time.
Well, it's already set up, so you can't be any worse than Carroll. Jesse Davis Midwest said, "I'm not far out. I'm from Pittsburgh." Is it Pittsburgh, Kansas? Yeah, you're not far at all.
I bought a bumper off from a guy in Pittsburgh before.
Okay, here we go. We got some questions rolling in. Sal,
record holder
for the longest name of podcast history, says Sal Mark St. Martin II said, "Hey boys, back again. Here's a real question for you. Be 100% honest. That's going to be a good one. Hard hitting questions out of the gate or game. If you had a chance to shoot a bow at a huge buck, but it was iffy shot, branched in your way, maybe out of your range, quick moving buck, whatever, would you try it or take it or wait for an ethical shot?" It's such a bad one for Jake. I can answer for Jake pretty easily.
Public or private?
It doesn't matter. Come on.
He does though.
He said, and I quote, "Be 100% honest."
100% honest. 100% honest.
Lie.
And I'm not trying to give a cop-out answer because everybody knows what I truly think. It depends, right? If it's on private and if I have them on, and again, I would have to have them on camera consistently. If it was during the rut and it was a newbie that just showed up for the very first time and it was this exact situation, what does Chris Stapleton say? Quite a bit. Fire away. Hell, he wrote a song about it. Absolutely. So I would definitely shoot, man. And I would be kicking myself probably by not waiting, but I would definitely probably try to crack a shot off.
I'll be honest. If it's so it's all relative. If you're in the Midwest, maybe you're not going to do that at a booner. But if I had like a once in a lifetime buck, probably if it's a real 100%. I'm being 100% honest, and I hate that about myself. I really do. I wish I could give you a better answer, but I mean, if it was 100% honest on like the buck of a lifetime, yeah. But I've had to tell a very short story. We had a buck that came out of a bedding area that Jake almost got a shot at that in Kansas that ran by me, and I had him at 55 yards with basically the back half of his guts and his butt hanging off the back of a tree. And he was mid 140s. I could have shot him in the butt or in the guts, but I decided against that. So I have tested this on a very, very big buck. And I'm just telling you, it would take an absolute mega giant for my ethics to come into question. So, but
you say that he said,
be 100% honest. So I'm being honest with you. I think most people would do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year when we were hunting our public spot, we got absolutely pooped on for like the first 4 or 5 days. And then I think on that 5th day, I had a situation where it was pretty good out of range. It was the very first buck I seen all trip. I bumped him the night before trying to find a spot, set up on it next morning. I tried to get too close to it that morning instead of just picking the tree I originally picked out the evening before. And long story short, he comes walking to a tree about 50 yards away. The doe's at 45. And I ranged a tree behind him that was like 55, so I just pinned him at 50. Well, I think if I would have waited and not shot that deer, or shot at that deer in the situation, that it possibly could have came around and gave me a better shot. So there's always that. But kind of going what you're going with that deer last year, like I truly think with everything in my being, he was at over 145 or above, like pretty easy. And it wasn't a good situation. The doe was kind of on me. He was following the doe. I was on my weak side shot, didn't step through my saddle platform to be able to shoot on my weak side shot. I just tried to torque myself and let it fly, and it was a rush shot and a panic shot, and the arrow didn't even land in the same county, dude. So I have did that, and I have shot, and I kick myself for it every day since. But at the same time, I don't regret it. I'd probably do the same exact thing in that same exact situation.
Would say, shoot or shoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we got one here. Joshua Thomas said, "Hey guys, if you had one tip for hunting public land to locate mature bucks, what would it be?"
What you got?
Oh man, I was hoping you would answer so you could give me a second. One tip for hunting public land to locate mature bucks. I'm going to give you an answer that I think most people probably won't like, but I think if literally I could give you one tip, it'd be to run trail cameras. That would be my number one tip. And if you can't run trail cameras, then I would say probably do some postseason scouting. That'd probably be my other.
That's good. But I mean, you always say the hardest part of finding big bucks or the hardest part about big bucks, or the hardest part of killing big bucks is finding them.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you know no one exists, you can literally just draw a circle and say, okay, this is probably, draw it really big, draw it 200 acres and be like, this is probably his area, and somewhere, and then make circles around it in every direction. And that'll help you kind of start to tighten the noose. But that's the one thing I would say is if you could afford it, I'd run a few different trail cameras on public. But that might not be your scenario if you're a Kansas resident, but that's probably what I would say.
Yeah. Also, we have a YouTube video on that. It's called The Basics of Hunting, on just our trail camera strategy. I mean, it might work for you. We don't really know where you're located, but so just take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, that kind of deep dives into our trail cam strat. But I think the one piece of advice I would give would be don't, especially on public, don't play it safe. Like, you got to get in there and get on their chili, because more than likely, if you're hunting public, it might just be a weekend thing. And so unless you have public just right out your back door, like if you're there, if you're wasting your gas money and your time and away from your family, and let's say you've been running trail camera photos and there's, some pretty good recent intel saying that they're in there, I mean, don't play it safe. Get on the outskirts, because it's public. As soon as you leave for the weekend, there might be a local that goes in there and hunts the spot too. So I think that's what I'm going to really implement this year, is just really try to get in the chili and actually think you're hunting where they're at, instead of just sitting in the stand like, oh, I hope they come by here.
Yeah, be aggressive. That's a great, yeah. They ain't going to kill themselves, and they ain't going to offer up suicide. So we got a few people in from Instagram. PSC Mobile Hunter said he's going to pull out the 308. I think he's talking about shooting at a big buck with a bow. That's a good point. Cole Stevens said, "What's up, boys? What's up, Cole?" We actually got a podcast with Cole about taxidermy and deer processing up on the channel, so that was a fun one. Here we go. So Brian
Dutcher
said, so Michigan changed its laws for hunting. Next year, the little ones can only kill a doe here in Michigan. Same with the elders. What's your guys' thought on this? Yes, we battle high to doe ratio. I think he meant buck to doe ratio here, and they're only trying to make bigger bucks. Me having a child, I don't think this, because I was able to kill a buck when I was young, and now my boys can only shoot a doe for youth season. That's interesting.
What? So youth and elderly people cannot take a buck? Is that what it's saying?
He's saying during the youth season, a child can't shoot a buck, which is I don't know. That seems like a pretty interesting way to promote doe management. Seems like a better solution. Maybe the
just period. How come there would maybe implement a rule that you have to shoot a doe before a buck, instead of just saying, no kids can. I mean, I don't know.
Just during the youth season is what he's saying.
Right, but still, I mean, youth season is what hell we look forward to when we were little.
I still look forward to it. I'm 14 and a half.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, he's got identification.
Crayon and $5. I mean, yeah, that my thoughts on that is that seems a little silly. I don't really understand why it's not really a benefit to a youth to get a place where you can or season where you can shoot a gun if they're only allowed to shoot a doe. I mean, that's cool, but you're not going to, especially in a place with a lot of does, you're not going to struggle to shoot a doe throughout the season. It seems like the whole point of the youth season is to make it easier for someone to shoot a buck before the pressure comes.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I would think too.
That doesn't sound very.
I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. Sal said, appreciate the honesty. I'm only a few years into this, but the family I married into, most of them, really preach taking an ethical shot. Now, we've had guys in the family freak out and shoot at massive bucks with a hope and a prayer and end up winning them and never see them again. Here's to hoping I never find myself in that situation. 100% honesty from me. I'd let the shot pass and fight another day. I think that's awesome. Yeah, that's good. If that's how you feel, you should definitely stick to it.
That's probably the smarter and more ethical thing to do. Absolutely. But I mean, the mind is a powerful thing. And if you're feeling a little bit of hopelessness, like I'm never going to get this done, no matter how hard I try, and then an opportunity presents itself, it's like, I'll take my chances. But again, I'm young, dumb, and retarded.
You know the rest.
Yeah.
Colby Kinley said, howdy, y'all. Hey, dude, how's it going?
Howdy.
And we got a couple questions here from Instagram. Cole Stevens said, if you're hunting public ground rifle and the area is loaded with hunters, you shoot a buck / an elk, it runs over the hill and is shot by another hunter. How do you handle this? I saw it happen last year in Colorado. That's interesting. I've heard of this happening many times, actually. How do you handle that situation, Jake?
I would pray to God that I have it on film and be like, see it. I shot this deer too. See it's the same exact one. This is a 6.55 as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That'd be tough.
I think if it was anything with antlers, I mean, not that a doe's any less important, but anything with antlers, it would really, really upset me. And I think you would try to bargain and reason with the person. And also I'd probably try to identify where my shot was. And where the other person's shot was, because I've heard situations where people actually kill the animal and it's death running and they shoot it again. So if I thought I made a good ethical shot that was going to put the animal down, I would definitely be willing to argue. But at the end of the day, it's like, are you going to come to blows with a guy over that? Maybe. Depends how big it is.
I might. The game warden would definitely be involved. That's for sure. I'd let him sort it out.
Yeah. That sucks, though. That's a terrible situation.
Yeah. Damn.
That really sucks. Dylan said, hey guys, when you guys are planning plots, are you planning a variety of food or sticking with one? And what are your thoughts on bigger or smaller plots?
So I usually just leave my food out for like 4 seconds at a time and let it dispense. But that's about as far as we go.
We don't have a lot of food plotting knowledge. I've planted oats and rye, and I've planted like a winter wheat mix before on very, very small kill plots at my grandparents' place. But we don't have ground that we can manage, to be honest with you. So we hunt public and then we run feeders on private. That's the two things that we do. He said, Kenny said, do a bunch of postseason scouting. Yeah, I think that's a good. I think that's a good idea there.
That usually just turns into, a little shed hunting piece.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
PSE Mobile Hunter on Instagram said the youth hunt in Michigan, no more bucks being killed, and they're voting on a 1 buck tag and earn a buck here.
Are you able to pop these up?
No, the Instagram doesn't come through.
Oh, okay.
Sadly, I don't know why. Yeah, are going down to 1 buck. Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to that argument.
I think in Michigan, with how pressured it is, I think it needs to probably do something drastic like that then.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of deer in Michigan. That's never really been the problem. Cole said, I was told that whoever puts the animal down owns it. I call BS. Yeah, that would piss me off. It's like, yeah, I was putting it down too, but it was running and bleeding out.
So I have a grandpa, and he could be full of crap when saying this, but he's told me this story probably 150, 300 times, something like that. And so, but each time they're consistently. And after a while, you're like, okay, I want to check him. If there's even one thing off he says, then like I want to call him out on it. It's going to like, hey, you're lying. But nothing's been like, it's been consistent the whole time. And apparently he was hunting a ranch. What's that ranch called? It doesn't exist now.
That narrows it down.
Yeah, I know. It's around. It's around here. It's around here. But no, it ain't Spur. Drummond Ranch. You ever heard of that?
I have.
Okay, well, it's a ranch around here. I think it's like a cattle farm or whatever. But long ago he used to have permission to hunt it, and one of the foreman's sons was hunting with them. They just did kind of deer drives, and he said there was this huge buck, last day he's ever hunted in his life. Yep, Drummond. There's this huge buck, like he said, one, old timers don't really say like, 160 inches, 170 inches. He was like just like big old buck. He had like 13 points, something like that. And he said he shot it through the heart and it ran. And as it was running over the hill where the foreman's son was, he said he cracked off 2 more shots. And he said it rolled down the hill and he got it. Well, when he got to it, he was like, hey man, I appreciate you finishing this off for me. And he was like, oh, what do you mean? He said, I killed this deer. And he was like, I mean, did you not hear my shot crack off? Like I just did, I hit it right there. And he said, sure enough, there was a bullet hole right there. And he said, oh no. He said, I seen where you hit it. You hit it in the ass right there. He said, I hit it right there. And he said, so you hit it, you heart punched it like that, with the pass through as it was tumbling down a hill. And he said, that's impressive as shit. And long story short, the foreman's son kept it, but he said that he said he lost sleep over that deer. Like he said, it was the biggest deer he's ever seen to this date. And
that would upset me.
Yeah, that was the last time he's ever hunted. So
that might drive a man to give up hunting.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's wild. JW said, what's going on, fellas? How did the traditional draw go? How'd it go for you, Jake?
Well, I reached in the bag and I came out with nothing. So I got an extra preference point. I guess that's what I did get.
Yeah, that's same thing for me. I didn't draw nothing.
Well, you see, we put in as a group, me, Christian, and another one of our buddies. And our other buddy had like 5 points. I had 3. And then Christian, of course, didn't have any. So I think he's the one that held us back from that, to be honest.
I definitely did, but I'd do it again.
It's fine. I'd rather go as a group anyways.
Sal said, Sal Mark St. Martin II said, last thing before I leave, have you ever thought about switching to a crossbow? I noticed a lot of big name deer hunters have switched over.
I mean, if I was injured or something, I would definitely use one. Like whether you get older or your shoulder or whatever the case may be. Like if you're not able to pull back a vertical bow and you want to hunt, by all means, like use a crossbow. But I think anything short of that, and even kids, like if your kid isn't strong enough to pull back a bow, he can't hunt. And that's just kind of what I think about the whole ordeal. And if you're an able-bodied man that can do that, it's like, no. That's like going to Walmart and riding around in one of those little motorized carts just because you don't want to. Just because you don't want to walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that
And I'm not trying to offend anybody. That's just my opinion. Like, take it as you will. Like I know it doesn't mean anything, but I'm not wrong.
No, I don't think I'd switch to a crossbow. I know we've kind of been talking a decent amount about not crossbows, but just what bow hunting is about recently. We had a podcast with Black Widow that came out recently, today, and bow hunting is about close. And doesn't mean I won't shoot one far away, but the intimacy and the fun part about it is the up closeness. And when you get rid of that, you lose a lot of the fun parts. So I don't think I would shoot a crossbow. Nor does it take as much skill or finesse or dedication. So no, I don't think so. I'm considering going the other direction with like a recurve.
Make it more hard.
Yeah.
I got a buddy that he doesn't primarily crossbow hunt, but he has one. And it ain't even like a super nice one. It's just like one of the most basic, cheapest models you can get. And it's an older one. And he said he can put that thing away in his closet and take it out anytime he wants. And he said he can literally drive quarters at like 90 to 100 yards. And he was like, yeah, it's insane. And so you put that into the same category as a vertical bow or like a compound or a traditional. It's like a traditional, like when we were there at the Black Widow thing, they had like this one little hallway that they made into like with the target at the end that people
a little range.
Step back and shoot. And it's like, I would put, I don't know how many holes in the wall just because I can't even hit the bag. And then same with the compound. Like if I try to step back to 35, 40 yards when I haven't shot a bow all summer, like it's not going to be the best. It's going to be a lot more accurate than a trad bow, obviously, but it's still going to take some time to get my form right. Okay, I forgot these were my anchor points, and versus like, all right, let's just hold it steady, pull the trigger.
Is my scope dialed?
Yeah.
Yeah. To each their own. I don't care if you want to hunt the
crossbow. I mean, I don't either in the grand scheme of things, but it's an opinion.
Yep. Jeff Booth said best thing I can say is the obvious: get in the hard to reach places. The harder it is to get to, the better. I don't completely agree with that. I think in some places, yeah, absolutely. If it's extremely hammered, the hard to reach places can be better. And I think in general, they probably are, but not necessarily. I've killed a couple really good bucks 300 yards off the road. And I think in Kansas, I killed that other buck. Not a good one, but I killed a buck 250, 300 yards off the road. There's a lot of spots that people, I'm not going to say overlook, but everybody can't be everywhere at once. So there are places that you can kill a deer, not in the freaking thickest place on the property.
And in most of the times, like it's all about diversity, I think, right? Like if you have this native grass like openness, like a clear cut or something, or select cut, and then you have this one little draw that goes down and it has a thing of pines going down it, and then within maybe 400 yards of that it has a little oak flat or something like that, and you have all those little pieces of diversity in like that one little small area. And it doesn't get much human pressure. It's like that's typically where you find them. Now there's variations of that, right? And some can be in those hard to get places, which I agree. I'm sure there's some swamp donkeys hiding in some places that we don't even want to go to. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, you can very easily. I don't know. It's yes and no at the same time. It's
the deer are where they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether that's 2.6 miles back or 300 yards off the road, there's a lot of spots that don't look like a whole lot on X, and there's a lot of spots that have a very tough barrier to entry to get off the road, whether you're busting through briars or doing something like that are a haven 150 yards off the road. And
well,
that happened with my recurve hunt.
Yeah, last year the spot I shot my buck at it on public. It was 150 yards from the road where we parked, and from the truck, because I had it on GoPro on my head, from the truck, us getting out of the truck, walking down there with the stretcher and getting it and finding it and walking back up to it was 7 minutes.
Yeah.
That took 7 minutes. And I was like, wow.
That recurve buck I shot on that draw hunt was about 80 yards off the road.
Yeah, that's nice. Didn't that one run towards the road as well?
Oh yeah, it did. It ran like to a. Yeah, I was like, nice.
Yeah. But yeah, those are just two, sample size, very small, 2 sample sizes or 2 samples right there. But I don't know. The deer are where the deer are for sure.
Yeah. So on Instagram, Basement Decorator said, "Who wins in an arm wrestling match between you and I?" Go ahead.
You already know my answer, dude.
Jake, as a man who has testosterone in his brain, can't say another man could beat him in an arm wrestling match.
At anything. I have a mindset where I can kick your ass in jiu-jitsu, and I've never taken it in my life.
I love your attitude. That's a great mindset.
I'm just saying, like I 100% think I can.
That's awesome.
Listen, I can scoot on my butt better than you by far.
And faster.
Faster. Yep.
Casey Pendergrass said, "Jake, why don't you respond to my DMs? He's calling you out."
I don't even know where my phone is. Oh, Abby did. Yeah, Abby did text me saying I need to check my Facebook messages. I will check this. I'll check him after this. My apologies.
All right, he will. He has promised it. Okay, so Ryan Graves said Texas has a first blood law. That I think he's talking about the who draws blood first. Yeah, I think that's a good law. I think there's certain circumstances where if somebody did hit one in the back ham and you put it down, that's a different scenario. But how often, be honest, are people going to shoot the same animal? It's pretty low.
Well, Peyton and I almost did.
True, but you guys were coordinating hunting together, and that's a different situation when it's your friend.
Right.
So, right. I think first blood's fine. That's probably a pretty good solution.
Well, me and Peyton would just arm wrestle for it, and I could definitely beat him. So
yeah,
that's good.
Joshua Thomas said, "Thanks for the answers. I invested in some trail cameras this year and have been placing them out, scouting more than I have in the past. I can't wait for deer season." Yeah, that's awesome. Trail cameras, love them or hate them, they're awesome. They work 24/7. They don't require little Debbies or any food to operate. Just a couple AA batteries.
You were just now complaining about how much you spent on batteries, though.
Lithium. I'm not talking about SD cameras.
Gotcha.
Yeah, lithium batteries are the spawn of Satan. How much they cost? Yeah. If a president was to run on bringing the price of lithium down, I would probably vote for him.
Man,
that's no joke.
You should tell all those kids working those lithium mines in a third world country to work harder. I guess. I don't know.
He's paying you $2 an hour. What else could you want?
That's awful. I'll stop.
It's brutal. JW said, "How did y'all shed hunting go this year? Did you find any good ones?"
I found a deadhead.
Find any good sheds?
I don't think so. Nothing more. Not more than like 10 inches, probably.
10 inches?
I don't know. I like just dinks. Probably. Oh. I don't have any in here. Did you find any? You shed 100 your lease, didn't you?
Yeah, I found one good one. Probably a, I don't know, mid 120s type of buck. He was broke up a little bit. Carol found a really good one, probably a mid 30s type of deer. Damn. Out of all the bucks that we were shed hunting for, I mean, after we give up on our lease and hunting it, all those deer go to the wheat fields for the winter to eat because nobody's providing any food. So we typically don't hold a lot of sheds, which kind of sucks. But no, we found a few deadheads. I found a buck that was like a forky and it was like a recent deadhead in March. And I was like, dang, I didn't realize Carol shot another one. And I sent him a Snapchat of it. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Now, we didn't find a ton. You found a nice one on public. Nice.
Yeah, just that deadhead. Yeah, I don't know. Didn't we tape that one out? It's like 118 or something.
Yeah, this literally is about what your deadhead looked like.
Yeah, it did. Mine is a little bit more chewed up than that.
Yeah.
That deadhead was actually pretty cool because it was leaned up against a tree trunk, like smushed up against it, and the like moss grew in the same pattern over the tree trunk as it did the skull, and so it looked pretty cool.
That's how you know it's been there a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Tony Bernhiesel, I'm assuming. Dude, that guy's got a nice beard and a nice set of hair on him. One buck and ARPs voted down in Michigan. Okay. Interesting.
APRs, what's that?
Couldn't tell you. I really don't know. TC Peterson said, you should go on a brown bear hunt. That's on the list, man. It's all on the list.
Awesome.
Would
if
love
you have
to
a
go
place,
on a brown bear
or
hunt.
if you just want to give me one for free, I will gladly go.
Well, for a small price of about $30,000, we can go on a hunt like that. Those brown bear hunts are legit, especially with a bow. I think I saw, I think it was Expedition or The Given Right, maybe was the TV show. Did you see that like world record brown bear that they shot in the chest at like, I think it was like 20 yards. It doesn't get much more intense than that.
When did it come out?
I do not know the score. It was 20 something inches, I think.
Oh,
yeah, it was huge. JW said, I know you guys are all about arrow penetration. That's interesting. But with that said, what do y'all think about the G5 Mega Meat mechanical broadhead? Are we all about arrow penetration, Jake? I think it's just because of the people we have on the podcast.
It seems like we are for sure. And in all honesty, yeah, I'd love to get a pass through every single time. What's it called? I'm going to Google it. G5 Mega Meat.
Oh, you know what that is.
Listen, I got short-term memory loss.
The Mega Meat's like I think it's one of the most popular broadheads right now. It's a 3-blade expandable cut on contact.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
those are kind of nice.
They're very sharp too.
Do you have some?
No, Jordan Schaffler shot them, and a lot of the popular archery folks shoot them. Chris B shoots them. Yeah, there's a lot of
huge 2-inch cut.
Yeah, it's a nice looking broadhead.
Huh.
One of our buddies at camp shot a deer with it and opened it up like a zipper. Like he shot, I think, like a hard quartering away shot, and like it was brutal. It's a pretty good mechanical from what I've seen.
Do you think it's better than like the Whitetail Specials?
I don't particularly like the non-cut on contact aspect of the Whitetail Specials. I don't like that they have to open to start cutting. But I would compare it, if you got to pass through, to like the Whitetail Special in terms of like how big of a cut it is. So those 3 blades, man, it's they're pretty nasty. I don't see a lot of people getting pass throughs with them, but if they work for you, that's sick. And they are very nice. If I was going to shoot a mechanical, I would consider shooting a G5 Mega Meat. Oh, here you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
You take this one.
Okay, so Dave Gaylord, I don't know who has a last name like that, but that's weird. So there's an RV park here close to home. It is mainly gravel covered about every evening. There are anywhere from 6 to 15 deer bedding there, including bucks. I know they are not being fed. What did you figure is the draw for them to bedding there in a large group? So you're saying there's no food or anything there?
If there's bedding cover, there's probably food.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, they're just getting their food from browse, and then they're there because that's where they know they're not going to get shot at. It's probably the same thing with any other housing addition around Grand Lake. You know what I mean? Like there's some giants over there by the coves, but no one can really hunt it.
Yeah, I would assume that there's good browse in that cover, especially if it's like thorny stuff. That there's good browse, and if it's you said it's bedding, so it's obviously really good cover. And then if it's in an RV park, they're probably not hunting. So that's like kind of a trifecta. There's probably food, bedding, and no pressure.
I think he actually sent me a video of this like last year sometime of the deer all just chilling there. But I think it's the same concept of like around the coves and stuff. Like they got food to survive there, and then they're not pressured.
So why leave?
Yeah.
So Judah Justin Pomp, this is one of the guys that's been listening for a while. I remember him on Instagram, said, I'm watching about 20 bucks that I've been scouting, and one has about 8-inch brows, and there's another about 10 good 8-pointers. Judah, I think he's like 15 or something. He might even be younger than that. Sounds like you need a hunting partner to come kill some of those big 8 points for you. That's awesome, though. I mean, this kid, he's been checking in on the lives for like 3 or 4 months now, and it seems like he's always seeing deer. So
is that the Michigan hunter?
Exactly. Yeah, he's from Michigan. Yep. He's a stud.
I know exactly.
I know it's always him because he's holding a big bass in his profile picture every time.
Hey, he likes big bass and he cannot lie.
He cannot lie. Kyle Ford Outdoors said on Instagram, do you guys still have a code for Exodus? I love their broadheads. Yes, we do have a code for Exodus, but it's not Exodus broadheads. It's Exodus Outdoor Gear. So they do trail cameras and arrows. Yep. Different Exodus.
What is it? It's okay. Never mind.
Yeah, it's a different. But if you want to use HA10 for that Exodus. Subtle plug.
Hey, you need arrows to shoot those broadheads. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's right. Get you some MMTs or some NISs. Michigan Harvester said I found about 20 good bucks. Oh, that's him.
Yeah. No, that's exactly who I was talking about.
He asked it. Sorry, dude. You're smarter than me and you're 12.
48th.
He asked it on YouTube and Instagram, I guess.
Nice.
Like, yeah. Colby said nice at Michigan. Oh, he was adding him. I found 33 this year. Heck yeah, Colby. That's good. 2 big sets, 140-inch 8-point set, and a 10-point in the mid 150s. Yeah.
Damn.
I would question you, but I'm looking at your profile picture here, and it looks like you do, in fact, have a big set.
Awesome. Nice rack, man. Nice rack.
Michigan Harvester said, I'm going out to Nebraska this year to bow hunt on private land, 11,000 acres. The property has mule deer and whitetails and has a few mountain lions recently. It's up in northeastern Nebraska. Dude. That's really awesome. You'll have a good time out there. What I do like about Nebraska is you can it's just a deer tag. It's not a mule deer or a whitetail tag, and so you can kill whatever. Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Hey, we're going to Nebraska hopefully too, so
we're gonna be doing some Nebraska stuff.
We are.
Colby Kinney said, "I'm addicted to shed hunting." Well, they're in your profile picture, so I feel you.
Yeah,
we are not addicted to shed hunting.
I understand the addiction. The reason we're probably not addicted is because we suck at finding them. In all honesty, like we're not good at it. So typically it's like, oh, well, to make ourselves feel better, we'll just go scout because we can't find any sheds. So that's typically what we do. Because we could follow Burns around or jump from WMA to different public pieces, and like if the biologist there burns, like we could go do that, but we can't see him to save our life, so we just don't.
It's also a 6-hour, 7-hour, can be 8 to 10 hours for me to commute to freaking go look for a shed. And I'm like,
excuses.
I still found a lot this year. For me, I found like 15. That's a lot for me. I went on Texas Public, and it's just a good excuse to go scouting in my mind. And I'm like, oh, I stepped on one. Nice.
Cool.
APR's antler point restrictions. See,
yeah,
Pennsylvania and Michigan people use APR. We don't have those down here. So not a familiar term.
What's your view on APR?
I think it's just one other way to manage for older age class deer.
But that's well, I wouldn't mean that in a bad way, to be honest, but that is kind of funny. But I think about like before last year, like all your like really nice bucks were really narrow racked, right? Obviously, maybe not like probably more than 13 inches, but still. So what happens if they get to that restriction where it's like that's obviously a big mature buck, but it doesn't meet the requirements?
I mean, one of the biggest, I shot that 6x7 on the lease was he was 142 and 7/8, and he was 13.5 inches wide.
Perfect example.
So if you are in let's say you were hunting in Eastern Texas with a 13-inch antler restriction in that area, that buck would have been this far from illegal. So imagine shooting a 140s and being like, I hope he's legal. There's a lot of Harold's buck, another great example. That same year, he shot one that was 12.5 inches wide. That was like 130, and it had 13 points. I think that's one of the things. It's like you manage for the whole, not the individual. Right?
Yeah, but that still sucks because if you're in a little nook and cranny that actually has good deer, or you finally found an area that has good deer, then you also got to battle that. It's like, man, I hope they grew what the state says they should, and it's like that's kind of crazy.
How do they enforce it though, too? Because you shoot a buck and you're like, oh, he's 12 actually. That's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's just for those in-betweener ages, which it has to be some statistical thing on like what's the average 3-year-old and like what we're trying to get those deer to 3 and 4 and 5. So I'm sure that's probably what it is. Which, to be honest with you, the widest buck I've ever shot was 19, and I've shot most of bucks that I shoot are in that 15 to 16 inch range. If one's 17 inches, that's really wide. So
it's a nice buck.
Don't shoot a lot of wide bucks. But on the antler point restriction side, I think that's a good thing, probably for the most part, especially in the Northeast when it's like, I don't know what it is, if it's 3 or 4 points on the side, but that's probably pretty good. I know it's worked good in PA. I know it's worked really good there.
Yeah.
With Gary Alt. What do y'all think of the Beast Broadhead? Have you been looking at Josh Bomar stuff?
Is that the one that like is supposed to evade bone and stuff?
Yeah, bone evading advanced spring technology. That's what it comes from. Yeah.
I heard people talk about it, but I've never seen it.
I've seen some of the holes, and they are brutal. I mean, looks like you hit them with a hatchet.
Expandable?
It's a 2-blade expandable.
Oh, I see it.
Has a spring in the bottom, and the whole idea with it is that the spring has enough tension to, if it encounters heavy bone, it flexes and goes back to 0.66 inches. I only know because I've been watching some of the short videos about it. And then if it goes through soft tissue, the spring is strong enough to keep it flexed out while it's going through soft tissue.
So let me ask you this: is that spring durable? I wonder how durable that spring is to where, let's say, if you practice with your broadheads, to be it how reusable is that broadhead then? Let's say it works perfectly. How reusable is it though?
Springs wear out.
That's what I mean. And so
eventually, I don't know what kind of spring it is though.
I just see too many flaws with that.
It's a good looking broadhead. To me, it looks like an NAP Spitfire, like a 2-blade.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against it,
broadhead.
And I think it's definitely a step in the right direction for sure, especially with expandables. But I'm just too much of a skeptic, and it's just like, well, we'll see.
If it worked how they're saying it works, it'd be like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, no, that's literally the step in the right direction to like feed out some of the flaws
I'd try it
of an expandable for sure.
Yeah, I'd try it. I'm not above it.
That's interesting.
It's a neat design. I think it's a good idea. Just seems strange with all the gravel. Oh yeah, about the deer in the parking lot. Deer are weird.
Maybe they're like birds because birds will eat gravel to help digest the bugs and stuff in their stomach. Maybe.
Let's go. JW said, I found a set that would roughly go high 170s while mushroom hunting. Never was big on shed hunting until now. Now I'm addicted. So
it only takes one then.
He sent me a picture of these over Facebook Messenger. And when he sent me the picture, my jaw was on the floor. Like they were like mega mass, really good time length, like dark chocolate beauties. I mean, those were some of the prettiest sheds I'd ever seen. And it looked fake. It looked staged where he sent me the picture.
Was that on personal or?
It was on my personal.
Okay, nice.
And it was like they were laid out like this, just like match right there. And he said, yeah, I found them just like that. Just laying there.
See, that's what I was looking for. I was about to log on Facebook and see.
That is, oh yeah, here it is. Here's the.
Just hold it up to the camera because I don't have my phone with me. Damn,
aren't those awesome?
Side by side, yeah.
I'll get you a picture.
I'd say so.
Here's the side.
No, I've seen it. It's nice. Oh wow. I bet you you're hunting that every single day this upcoming season.
Oh, I would be. Wouldn't you? That'd be so cool. Yeah.
Heck, he's got a good one in his profile pic.
Yeah, I know.
I wonder where he's from.
He's Oklahoma. I know that.
Is he really?
Yeah, Oklahoma. Okay, let's get through some of these. So Devin Craig said, hey guys, I'm new to the filming industry and I'm just currently on how you would go about getting more followers, views, etc. I have a cool page, Whitetail Addicts. I just started, hoping it expands. Either way, I plan on keeping posting videos with family and friends and just have fun with it. Yeah, I've actually seen your page. Yeah, that name is very familiar. So new to the film, how do you get more followers, views, etc.? What do you think, Jake?
Just like Keith Warren said today, you just got to show your tits and you'll be good.
Stop.
I'm just kidding. No,
that's one way.
That is one way. That's an effective way to end up on my For You page. Anyways, jokes, guys. Happily married, but I don't know. I think, and me and Christian talk about this quite a bit. I think anyone can do what anyone else does, right? Especially content side. Like, yeah, some people might be able to, know how to edit, or it's about like hunting. You just got to do it to figure it out, right? But the key to that is consistency. You see, because I think anyone could just even build a YouTube page to 20K subs or whatever if they're consistent. Like, we're not anything special, but we got a YouTube page of 20K. We got a Facebook of 50 or 60 and all that stuff. And it's like, trust me, we're not dirt on my boot, but we were pretty damn consistent at
Jake's not a genius if you haven't found out.
Yeah, I'm far from it, my friend.
Just kidding. Consistency is a good one. I think that's good.
What do you think? What do you think, genius?
As the group genius, as Jake calls me, No, I mean,
Hey,
yeah,
some people are smart. Some people have the bronze and the looks. Okay, so
yeah, both.
that's me.
I mean, getting more followers and views. I would say just doing stuff that you find interesting and then improving something every single time. That's what, whether it's getting a better shot or making sure you're not saying certain words or like, just improving something every single time you're filming a video. That's a Mr. Beast style of improvement. So that's probably what I would say. Just improve something every single time and just do the stuff that you want to do.
Damn, you done? That bored me to tears.
That's true.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, you're right.
I mean, that's something that we've done is every dollar that we've made in this venture has gone into making things better, like cameras and everything else. So, and then also you're only going to be as good as you are at that time. You can only do as good as your skills. So,
yeah, we learn like new stuff every single day. It's like, oh, we could probably do this a little bit better. We could probably do this, and then 3 months later, it's like, what were we thinking? Why did we ever do that?
I know. JW said I found a set this year while he already said that one. Oh, I think he dropped it twice. That's my bad. Brian Dutcher said we have a 4 points on one side antler point restriction.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
but then again, that's also like any 3-year-old. I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to save your 2-year-olds probably, unless they are a nice 8 point at 2 years old.
I think that's basically like the same thing, different day though. It's like, yeah, okay, that might save your yearling to that might say save your spikes to your 2-year-olds, but you're just prolonging the inevitable the next year. It's like, okay, then that's a good 2-year-old or an average 3-year-old.
Well, at least when he's 3, he might have a chance to be a good one. If he's gonna get shot at 3, at least he's gonna be good.
Or smart enough. Yeah, it's true. Have a whole season under its belt.
Give him a chance.
That's true. Okay.
Colby,
See, I'm the dumb one.
Colby said Sever does the same thing or half the price, in my opinion. Yeah, I haven't looked into Sever. I know they make a good quality broadhead, but I've never used them, so I don't know. I didn't know they had bone avoiding stuff. Well, that'll do it. Yeah, he's talking about your comment. Michigan Harvester said, "I'm the Lower Peninsula of Michigan. There are about 1 million deer, so I'm bound to find a bunch." Yeah, sounds like it. It's funny though, because Michigan's always talking about the density of hunters and how many there are and how hard it is to hunt, but then simultaneously they talk about how many deer there are. I think there's just not big deer. I think there's a ton of deer though. Yeah, buddy, those are awesome antlers. Yeah, those ones for JW are awesome. Okay. Devin said, I appreciate it. It's literally a dream of mine to film my hunts. I don't have a lot of money to put into it, and I don't come from a money background. So everything I do is literally just me grinding and doing what I can. I'm learning slowly. Thanks. If you guys give me a follow and like, I'd appreciate it. Love the podcast. Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, sure. We will. No worries. Well, I mean, yeah, I get you from the not coming from a money background. I didn't, but Jake did. So it's kind of been, it's kind of been an issue in our friendship.
That is hilarious.
So what's even worse, Devin, is when one of you does and the other doesn't. So think about how hard that could be. Jake literally bought all of our camera equipment. He pays for all the hunts.
Is that right? That's crazy. That's new. That's news to me.
He's just
my couch cushions must be loaded, son. Yeah. Well, we understand. But I think, like, as for camera gear, like, you don't need a Sony A7 or whatever the heck we have. You don't need that. Like, Christian's first ever camera took tape, and we're not that old. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
What sucks about that tape camera is it was like probably seven years ago, and Lauren shows it to me and gives it to me so excited. She's like, I got this filming equipment for you. You're gonna be able to film your hunts, and I'm like, no way. And then I opened it up and it goes, and I was like, this thing takes tapes. And she was like, I honestly had no idea, and I used it. I have a tape of me smashing a hog on public land, knocking the dust off of him on a tape somewhere. So
yeah, you also have that AT&T buck recovery that didn't pan out on tape.
That's on tape.
You recorded it on that camera. I remember that.
Dude, I need to find that tape.
Yeah, it was on there. I don't know if you pressed the record button or what, but yeah, that was also on there. I've always wanted to ask you, but you got rid of it, and I was like, I probably don't have it, so I never.
I think I do have the tape. I just don't have a way to read it.
Oh well.
One of these days we're gonna find.
Regardless, but yeah, you see, slowly upgrade because then what? You got like a Canon or something.
Yeah, I bought so many cameras under $500 trying to upgrade.
Yeah, I had one. I bought a Nikon D5200 from Amazon, and it was like the little bundle kit. So you got like your little bag, 2 lenses, and the Nikon camera, and it was like $800 or $900, and it was probably one of the most poorest financial decisions I've ever made. Besides,
I remember that.
Besides going elk hunting in Colorado, because I worked at a place around here. It's called GRDA over the summer, and at the end of it, I wasn't very good with money, so I was just like, well, I had $1,200 hit the account for 2 weeks, and then
let's spend $900 of it.
And then literally, I was going back to school that next week, like college, and I spent $900 of it, so I had $300 to like move to Stillwater on. I was like, awesome.
But I got a camera.
But I told myself, I was like, well, it's now or never. It's either I'm either going to get it, or I'm literally going to wait till next summer to get it. So I'm just going to get it because, your boy had those Cherokee thing. The Cherokees pay for most of his stuff. So
yeah, feels good to
be a Redskin.
The film and the hunts thing though, you could have gave me the camera that we have today, and I promise you it would not have made much better for a long time. You just have to go out there and film a ton and be terrible and figure it out along the way. That's it. JW said, thanks. I got a buddy that's mounting them for me now. Hopefully I can get him down this season and put them side by side. Dude, that'd be so cool. I've always wanted to find a set of sheds big enough to put in one of those like fake European mounts,
I know what you're talking about.
Like drill ins. I've been wanting to do that so bad. Oh my god, we get some brain busters, dude. Timirin?
Oh no,
he's been on here. Yeah, I remember.
Okay. Pfaffenberger. Timirin Pfaffenberger.
Timirin Pfaffenberger.
If that's not right, I will be blown away because that was actually really good.
That was great pronunciation
for me to say. Timirin Pfaffenberger.
Nice. Y'all have any target deer on camera yet? Truthfully, man, I got my first cell camera out 2 days ago. So I don't have any target deer on camera. I have a few that I'm hoping for, but I don't have any on camera yet. I have one. Biggest buck I got in the last 3 days was about a mid 120s, probably a 3-year-old. So none for me.
Still something. Dude, my camera work has been, the last thing I did to my cameras was end the subscription in January. That's the last thing I did to my trail cameras. Granted, we probably got some that we didn't pick up on public that are still running, and hopefully we find them because I took inventory on our cameras and I have like 8.
I have 3.
So yeah, we have, I guess, 10 missing out in the wilderness somewhere. Or
on the bright side, I went to Atwoods to get some stuff for a mock scrape this weekend, and there was they have cameras for $29.
Oh, really?
So,
well,
those are going to be in my pocket. Maybe
that's not a bad grab.
No, not at all. Especially for the public land.
Did we ever? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Did we ever pick that one up by the pond?
No, it's still there.
So okay, so yeah, I bet you we'll find half of those.
Hope so.
Yeah, me too.
CD Stroker said, "What's up, boys?" on Instagram. What's up, man?
Hello.
Thanks for showing up. Devin Craig said, "Y'all probably think I'm dumb because of spell check crap on my phone." Been there, done that, brother.
No, it's fine. You fit right in then.
I'm that guy on spell check that you literally send like 7 or 8 messages in a row trying to fix the word, and it keeps spell checking. I'm like, by the end of it, want to throw my phone. Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, you fit right in.
What was the push to try to make a mock scrape this year?
Man, shot. So I was talking with Jake Ayers about this. In the last 3 or 4 years, I've shot several really good bucks over feeders. And kind of just sitting there twiddling your thumbs on your phone waiting for a buck to come in is not that exciting or fun. And so I've decided to start utilizing like mock scrapes and travel routes and stuff at my leases and try to kill deer over more natural. This is just on private. Obviously, we don't do feed or anything on public, but just trying to do it in a more natural, fun way. I'd really like to shoot one with my recurve on the ground in my ghillie, or with my compound on the ground over a decoy with my ghillie. So I'm just trying to put in some mock scrapes so I have some places that at least I can check out for general areas of where a buck's coming through.
Also, it's pretty good just to know like how they work it, and yeah, just to kind of have a little bit of experience under your belt. No, I like that. Have you given any thought in like those rubbing posts or anything?
Yeah, I've thought about a rubbing post. What I really want to do is a rope scrape.
Mm-hmm.
So taking a piece of rope, but you need to leave those out to weather a while and get the scent out of them. So I'll probably be too late for that this year. I might get started on that next year with rope scrapes, but rub and pull, all that stuff. I'm interested in all of it. I really want to try it all. So hopefully that's in the cards. But yeah, I got all that stuff set up this weekend. I'm not running any cameras over the scrapes yet, but I probably will as we get a little closer to season. CD Stroker said, "What part of Oklahoma do y'all hunt?" I'm in Johnston County. Where's Johnston County?
Nothing Google can't tell us. Johnston with the T.
Yeah. Okay. He's southern.
Yeah.
By Tishomingo.
Yep.
Gotcha. Man, we hunt all over. Really?
That's a cop-out answer, but it's true.
No, we really do. The only place I don't hunt consistently is Northwest Oklahoma, and I've been out there too, but I just haven't hunted there
for pronghorn
recently. No, I've hunted there for deer
too. Oh, and ceiling.
Yeah, exactly. We hunt all over though. Kyle Ford Outdoors said, "Love my mock scrapes. Killed my biggest bow buck over a mock with a rope. That's awesome." Yeah. I'd love to shoot one over a freaking rope.
I've always wondered if like some of the scrapes you see on public is either, it depends how pressured it is, right? Yeah. It's just like other people's scrapes that they tried, because there was this one piece in Kansas that I walked into this little, it was like a super secluded bean field, and it was surrounded by private, and it was almost landlocked with this lake, but I ended up being able to skirt around on the edge of the lake. And along the way, there was obviously human sign, but there was more scrapes, like size of car hoods, that I walked by because I was like, I don't want to set up here. I want to get to this bean field to check it out because I know they're going to be on the bean field. But long story short, I don't know if someone made that just to try to deter people and make them stop there versus going all the way back.
I don't know. I typically see when it's a fake mock or when it's a mock scrape on public, I usually see the Tink stuff. Like, but who's to say you didn't create a mock scrape and then just spray some piss in it and move on, but you see a lot of the drippers and those sort of things on public. So I don't know. I guess there's no way to tell, especially because when you do a mock scrape, they end up using it. So it is a scrape at some point, but I don't know. I think people do make a lot of them on public. Okay, so
that's also the same spot I found that corn on public, that corn in the blind. So
here's your sign.
I didn't hunt the spot anyways. Don't worry.
Here's your sign. So Lighthounds said, "What's your local deer tracking dog?" We don't have a consistent deer tracking dog that we've used, just here and there.
Do we want to give a shout out to those one folks?
We've used Oak Hills Bodark.
Yep.
Oak Hills Bodark is what, and I think they have a couple other dogs. We've used them one time. Trying to think what other dogs I've used. I've used one in Cade. I forget his last name. In Southwest Oklahoma, I used him once. So we don't use them a ton. I
tend to kill them. Christian likes to. He loves the track, so
I like tracking them. It's part of the chase. So no, we use whoever's available. We don't use them consistently enough. We use I've used 2 or 3 with friends over the years.
They are cool though.
Yeah, they're really cool to watch them work. CD Stroker said, "Let's hunt some public." There you go. Hey, hit us up if you're in the area.
Drop us some pins, and then we might see you there.
Yeah. Kyle Ford Outdoors said, used to do some work with a pea company. Here's a good little tip. When putting pea directly on the ground, dump a little bit of water on the ground first so it doesn't just soak up in the summer heat. Yeah, I noticed that. I was putting some stuff out for mock scrapes this last weekend, and I mean, if you spray liquid on the dirt, it's gone in like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
because of the heat evaporation. Plus, they said the deer love the smell of mud. Don't know if that's true or not. I think that is true. If you go till up a food plot or just turn over some dirt and don't plant anything and just leave and see if deer start walking through it. I like the smell of dirt.
I think it's a nutrition thing, right? Because there's all those nutrients buried in the ground, from the topsoil, right? And so I think it's just a nutritional thing. They're trying to browse all that like overturned stuff and pick out of that.
Yep.
Because the deer's knows what's nutritious or not, and what their body is needing, probably subconsciously. So
oh yeah,
I think that's what it is.
Okay, let's do a few more here. Tamarin said, "If you're not baiting, you're waiting."
Well, amen, brother.
Yeah, it's true. You're right. Veteran Outdoorsman said, "Hi all." Hey, thanks for coming back, man. I've seen you in here several times. We appreciate it. Well, if you guys got any other final questions, feel free to drop them on the comments wherever you're at. I don't think we're going to go on this thing too terribly longer.
No. Also, even for the people listening that might not be on the live right now, I got a question for you guys. Would you all be... Do you think it's a good idea or not? Would you all be interested in us going to like a deer, not a processing plant, but basically where they make all the Tinks pea, maybe not Tinks specifically, but where they get the pea from that they sell it in bottles at the convenience store? Would you all be inclined to see something like that, like the behind the scenes of that stuff? Or I'm kind of curious to know, like, is it worth our time and effort to try to piece something like that together or not? So
yeah,
either drop down in the comments or send us a DM, because that's something we're really thinking about doing. We're trying to find these new kind of interesting stuff we still find interesting, but little off the wall things to do when it's not hunting season. That just something fun to do.
Yeah, and we've been doing these kind of more travel style podcasts and events behind the brand stuff, like the stuff we did with Black Widow and plan on doing with other folks. So traveling and doing stuff is fun. So CD Stroker said yes, and Greg on Instagram said, "I'm in on the pea stuff." Yeah, we're in too.
Okay.
He said, "Funny, I see all you guys that I also run into before the Echo and Beast podcast." Oh, nice. Well, those are some good podcasts. So I am honored to be in that company. That would be bad.
Nice. That is a nice bull.
Yeah, it is. Brian Dutcher said, "Yeah, that would be bad." Ace. Yeah. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. CD Stroker said, "Do y'all duck hunt?" Every once in a while. If I don't have any deer tags left.
Peyton would say that duck hunting is probably better than deer hunting, but hey, that's why he's not on here right now.
And he'd be wrong. Yeah, so we're planning on doing these lives every other Monday. So count this as our, kind of our first Monday, and we'll be back on July 29th. So we're going to try to do them more typically till around 6 or 6:30 every other Monday. And we'll try to have them up on YouTube where they're kind of set there as premiere, where you can kind of tell when they're going to come and when we're going to be on. But we also release a long form podcast, typically with either us or a guest, every Monday at 6 a.m. too. So we're trying to get more scheduled and regimented.
Yeah, we got some good ones coming up too.
Some really good ones. Yeah, we've got 2 or 3 already shot that are really good that we're working on editing right now. But yeah, that's kind of the schedule on the podcast. We're shooting for like 6 episodes a month and try to keep them coming your way, a mix of live and guests and us. So that's what we're up to. Mike Williamson, thanks guys. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for everybody for sticking around, and we appreciate it. We'll see you guys. We'll try to do these a little longer too. Typically not in just an hour. We'll try to go a couple hours, but this one is kind of ad hoc, and it's the first one. So yeah, we'll try to get more regimented.
So with that, guys, put down your phones, pick up your Bibles, share the gospel whenever you can, and always know that Jesus loves you.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.